Welcome to From Crisis to Community Stories of Resilience. In this podcast, you will hear directly from migrants, displaced persons, and refugees about their hopes, fears, and visions for the future. Thank you for being here. Let's dive in. In our previous episode, we explored what it means to flee Ukraine, arrive in Germany, and begin the difficult work of integration. In this final episode, we shift our focus to how migrants are represented and how they stay resilient. Our guest reflects on how the media has portrayed people displaced from Ukraine, and especially third country nationals, and what the resilience means when rebuilding life in new country. These conversations invite us to think about who gets to tell the story, and how strengths take many forms, from community organizing to holding on to hope for the future. We begin with how migrants from Ukraine have been portrayed in the media, and what often missing from those portrayals. Our first guest, Christina, lived in Kyiv for over a decade before coming to Germany. With her background in environmental engineering and community work, she offers a broad perspective of how the media has shaped public understanding of migrants from Ukraine, and how coverage often failed to reflect the full picture of displaced people's experiences.
I would say the media in itself has not been so kind in so many ways to migrants. And I would prefer, like, if it was just fair, you say it as it is, but would it sell? The media is also a business venture. That's how we would have to look at it. They have to sell. So if they're going to say, like, oh, yeah, 150,000 Ukrainians came from Ukraine. Okay, so what happened? We're not nobody's going to read it. But when you say, like, oh, they've taken all the money and that's why you don't have the job you have currently, that's why they're taking all the money from you that you're working, as how they're portrayed in just one outlet I just read. I just looked at last week. So that would be easy for people to think, like, oh yeah, these Ukrainians are taking all our money and they're not doing anything. But it's not being portrayed why they're not doing things. Why, for instance, their recognition of results have not been recognized for the past 11 months. Why there is a very in-depth need for German, even though in some of the places that you go to that they ask for German, in the offices, they just speak English. Yeah. And that could have been done without the German. Yeah. So, well, so many other reasons. But the media, I would prefer if they could show people in a better light. If they could tell people to tell their stories. Give the opportunity to people to say their stories instead of them saying it for them.
Our next guest, Joseph, first arrived in Bavaria before moving to Berlin. He shares his thoughts on how migrants are sometimes misrepresented in the media and how solidarity networks have helped push back against those narratives.
I'm gonna tell you something true. Social media not always saying the true things and not always fair. There is a lot of people, they have high qualification, they are coming to work, they are like to be a positive in society, yeah. But still some people, they they want to deliver like wrong message about us, like we are terrorists or we are wanted to do something not good for Germany, and this is, I think, by my opinion, this is not good. We having high qualification, we want to work, like to be positive in Germany.
Our third guest Zain was studying IT in Ukraine before the war forced him to leave. When he arrived to Germany, he noticed how the media often distinguished between Ukrainian citizens and migrants of color from Ukraine. He reflects on how this unequal portrayal shaped public perception and how important it is for people to tell their own stories.
I think when it's about people who had Ukrainian passports and with Ukrainian citizenship, I think there was a lot of coverage. The media was super interested in sharing their stories, their struggles, which I think is absolutely fair. This is how it should be. That's the role of media. But at the same time, I am personally very disappointed in the portrayal of third country nationals from Ukraine. I think that not enough stories were told. I think that this side of the war was absolutely not shown. It's like we and to people who do not belong to this mainstream group of Ukrainians, we just suffered in silence. It seems like this. When your stories are not put out there, you feel like something happened to you, but nobody cares to talk about it. And I think the lack of portrayal by the mainstream media of the third country nationals is also the reason why the laws were never in favor of the third country nationals. I think our journey in Berlin and navigating through the bureaucratic hurdles in Germany was made all difficult for the simple fact that our stories were not told enough and our journeys were not shown as they really were. I think that if there was more coverage, if our story reached the German population more through the mainstream media, or people would have been aware of our struggles, more people would have advocated who didn't, partly because maybe because they didn't care, but also because maybe they didn't know. Some people maybe they just didn't know. And we lost, I don't know, in a way, supporters. We lost support that we, in a way, deserved because the war had taken so much from so many people and it's not fair for anyone. So why should we not be given support to rebuild our lives back from scratch?
But beyond how migrants were portrayed, there's another story. One of persistence, purpose, and connections. When asked about resilience, our guest spoke about finding strength in community, responsibility, and hope.
I think for me, resilience means organizing. I think I connect resilience always with organizing in a way that one should learn, or at least one should try how to organize their struggles, how to organize their anger, their confusion, their pain, the injustice that they feel through finding community, being a part of something bigger than yourself. It's only when you feel like you are bigger than just a single story is when things actually start making more sense. You start connecting dots. You see that what you are going through is not an isolated case or an isolated experience, but rather it's a part of a very bigger struggle through systemized racism or through systematic marginalization of communities. So as soon as you see that there are people who are also going through stuff that you are going through, you realize that it's so important to organize, because if you don't, like, a person cannot change anything. A single person is powerless in front of the bureaucratic system, but as soon as you connect with people that care about you, the people who have the resources to offer help, and also the people who are going through the same things as you and are equally curious, equally motivated, it helps you to move forward. And I think resilience has a lot of power in even changing laws, as we have seen in our case.
For many parents who fled the war, resilience took a deeper meaning. It became about creating stability for their children amid uncertainty. Kwame and Bola reflect on rebuilding family life in Berlin, balancing responsibility, hope, and the determination to give their children a sense of home once again.
The reason I'm doing that for now, I think it's my daughter, and also focus on what I can actually achieve here, not like what I'm not getting at the moment. So I think most part it's the fact that I believe right now it's not about me. It's about I have a responsibility, and then I have to take care of someone other than myself. So I think mostly it's about my daughter.
I want my children to achieve as much as they can with all that is made available to them here. My husband and I, we have a very great future ahead of us. All of us as a family, we have a lot to offer in Berlin, in Germany, as a country. I believe given all that we need to thrive, it will do much better. And I see us doing great things. My children are excellent. My last child, she's quite a lovely one, a happy child. People say it in the guitar. She's strong. She's this. She's jovial. She's that. She has a lot ahead of her. Same thing with the first one. All of them, the three of them, they have a lot going on ahead. And I wish they're going to do great things. Germany is going to hear about them. That I'm very sure of. I'm optimistic.
What message of hope would you like to share with other families that have migrated or have been displaced by war to Germany?
First thing, you know where you're coming from. You know where you're heading to. Don't erase your dream for anything, for what you're facing at the moment. Don't erase what you've put down for yourself, what the goals you've set for yourself. Don't erase it because of what you're going through at the moment. It's just the phase. The second, which is very key, trust in God to see you through. Wake up every day, affirm yourself, and see yourself getting it. It may be tough. You seeing the problem. For instance, just knowing that, I don't have my passport with me. I can't do much here. But you're believing that you will have that passport and you will have much more to that passport. Just keep going on. Maybe you have a job you have a mini job right now is nothing compared to what you set up for yourself. Keep doing it. Spending the time you want to get what you need to achieve what you want. Basically, keep reminding yourself of the goals. Let the words of God keep building you hope. Don't forget to believe in yourself. Because when you think you can't do it, then you can't do it. When you think it's not achievable, it's not achievable.
Across these conversations, one thing is clear: representation matters. But resilience goes deeper than any headline. It lives in a quiet determination to keep learning, to keep showing up, and to keep believing that lives can begin again.
Thank you for listening and making space for our voices. Your engagement helps ensure these experiences are not overlooked.
Don't forget to like, share, and comment if you'd like to hear more.
The Communities First and KUSPU projects are implemented within the framework of the UN Decade for People of African Descent.
Hi, this is Katarina. Are you a third country national who fled the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022? We'd love to hear from you on Telegram @CUSPU or tag us on Instagram cuspu.germany. If you want to help us continue this work, documenting, connecting, and supporting migrant communities, please visit www.kuspu.de/support-us. Even small contributions make a big difference.